What is the sweet spot to buy a house actually this year in 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona? Well, if that is a question you are looking to answer, we're going to tell you, like actually tell you without having a crystal ball or a bald head, right? I can't rub this head. Um, what that answer is going to be. Okay, so stay tuned to this show because we're going to jump on that question. If again, this is data driven, like everything we do at Everything Phoenix. So this is data driven. We're going to jump into this, guys, and it's going to be a good show. Okay. We have some other things to cover too on this show, like supply and demand. What is happening there? And what is happening with the median home sales price currently in Phoenix, Arizona? What's going on, guys? Hey, my name's Kelly Cook. This is Everything Phoenix. And if you don't mind putting your name or maybe where you're watching from on our show and commenting, that would be great. Jessica, thank you so much for saying hello. I appreciate that. Hello back to you. And thanks again for hopping on and taking the time. I'm a little late today, guys. I'm a little late. I apologize. I was at a workshop and I was hustling to get here, but I got a good show prepared already in advance for you. So if you don't mind, just letting us know where you're watching from. And if you're watching a replay, comment below as well. But this is going to be good. We're going to jam here for the next 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25 if we're feeling a little frisky, but I'll keep you to a minimum here and make sure you're on your way. That being said, development, what's going on in the Phoenix area? Interest rates, what's happening there? That's a good one. What's happening with the interest rates? As we know, they actually went up after the Fed announcement last week. So how is that possible? That shouldn't be happening, right? I mean, if the interest rates or the Fed brings down by 25 basis points, the federal funds rate, shouldn't 30-year fixed mortgage actually go down too? Well, it did. It just did it before they actually announced it. It was baked in to the rates, and quietly it went from about 6.75 down to 6.5, and then dropped all the way down below 6.25 before they even announced they were going to reduce. So that is quite interesting. Jessica, Litchfield Park, great place. Great place. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from. And if you're watching from out of state, several people who are on here definitely watching from out of state. I know that to be true. And put your information in if you don't mind. If not, not a big deal. But we just appreciate having a little two-way conversation. Okay. Now, that all being said, let's start there. Interest rates, 6.37 on the 30-year fix. Okay. That is up. There's the red right there. It is up actually from where it was just before the Fed made the announcement. If this is kind of tight here, but we were at below 6.25 for a second there. I just can't get it because it's so low, 6.1 and some change. You guys know it because you're watching the show last week. But it went back up because, well, the bond yield actually moved as well. And that's why they did it, because the federal funds rate is actually just an indirect correlated effect, not a direct correlated effect. But if the Fed continues to reduce and if the unemployment rate actually continues to stay low, we will have a situation where, well, actually, if it stays low but goes up a little bit, then they're going to continue dropping rates. Okay. But if it stays low and everything's hunky-dory, they're not going to drop rates. So we need some bad news before we get some good news, if you know what I'm saying. So that is unfortunate, but it's kind of how the cycle works, unless you have a proactive Fed, which unfortunately we don't right now. We have a reactive Fed, and typically the Fed in general is just always reactive. So they can sometimes miss the mark, and I think they're going to miss it here a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to share my screen and jump back in to a couple good articles. Now, we talked about this on last week's show, but guys, summer 2025 was the strongest buyer's market in records dating back over a decade. There were an estimated 506,000 more home sellers than buyers in August, meaning buyers held the negotiating power, but the tables could turn if falling mortgage rates bring more buyers off the sideline. Okay. The number of buyers in the market fell to an estimated 1.4 million last month, the lowest level in records dating back to 2013, guys, 12 years ago, aside from the start of the pandemic, which was short-lived, right, in terms of the real estate being not so great. Sellers have retreated in response to buyer anxiety. The housing market has shed 50,000 sellers since May, and Florida and Texas are home to the strongest buyers market. But guys, Arizona was a decent one too, and still per data definition is overall. Depends where you want to live, okay? So here you go. There are 35% more home sellers than buyers out there in the marketplace. And that is as of August of 2025. But that is shifting, guys. That is shifting quietly and quickly as the 30-year fix continues to drop. It is a correlated effect. Guys, if you don't believe me, I'm telling you, it's true. It's true. You're going to see it. It's a correlated effect between how low rates go and the amount of demand that jumps into the game to actually trade in maybe their 3%, 4%, 5% mortgage for something a little bit higher, or maybe a first-time home buyer who is currently renting. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now that is a good article because it gives you perspective on that. But U.S. home prices ticked up 0.2% in August. Now, I just shared this graph with you. There are 35% more home sellers than buyers. So how in the world could home prices in the U.S. tick up 0.2%? It didn't go negative. It went up in August of 2025. Now, that is eerily similar to what's going on locally here in Phoenix. Guys, this is the median, not average, median monthly sales price. And what happened, guys? Oh my goodness. Last week it was at $457,500. And because the month of September is rolling on, and today we are at the 23rd of September, right? So we have new data pouring in. It went up again, another $2,500 on the median home price. We're at $460. Look at this. We're the same as where it was March of 2025. Guys, what was happening in March of 2025? Well, as you know, March is typically one of the best months of the year when it comes to home sales and home demand or buyer demand in the Phoenix marketplace. The weather is gorgeous. There are activities happening everywhere, and a lot of visitors coming down to the Phoenix area and looking to buy real estate. And we are at the same price now we were then. Now, I'm not saying we bottomed out. I think we may have, especially if the Fed continues to cut again before the end of the year. Now, if they don't cut before the end of the year, I don't think we did. But if they do cut, we may have seen the bottom August of 25, and this will continue to be around 460 for high 450s. Maybe the median sell price goes up a little more into the 460s. I mean, if you look at this graph right here, guys, you can see it was as high as 480 in May of 2022. Now, I don't think that's happening anytime soon because look at the growth here. Look at the growth. Look at this. January 21, which wasn't too long ago, a little over, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago? It was 340. The median home price was 340. And it skyrocketed to 480. So we're at 460. So it feels like the homes are still very unaffordable if you don't currently own any property or any equity to trade in for a house. But guys, I'm telling you, I don't know. People were talking about 20% crash just 2 months ago, 25% crash in Phoenix. And not only have not crashed, the price point went the other way. Phoenix is a very desirable place, and migration of population is still pouring in. Why? Because of the local economy is doing well, and overall, the development is doing very well. So it's going back to this article right here about U.S. home prices. Okay, now let's go back to macro. U.S. home prices rose 0.2 from a month earlier. Year-over-year basis, home prices rose 3.1%. 3.1% up, not down. But it's the slowest rate recorded in Redfin Home Price Index going back to 2012. 26 of the 50 most populous U.S. metros saw month-over-month price declines. So we are having some marketplaces that are showing declines. Phoenix, for a while, did, right? Look at this. We were talking April. We're talking March of 25. Talking down, 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 down. But where were we September of 24? Let's measure right here, guys. Here we go. We're at 445. We're up to 460. That's an increase of $15,000 in the course of 1 year, year over year on the median home sales price. So we are up year over year. And we were up in, July 25, July 24, 442. 445. We were up a little bit in July as well. So, guys, I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but at some point, obviously, trees don't go to the heavens forever, right? They have to stop at some point. So, we're going to see a reversal of this at some point. Year over year is not going to be so great, but right now, I don't see too much on the horizon for Phoenix that's going to tank this market. Cromford Market Index. Cromford Report predicted that by the end of this year, this is back in, I think, believe May or June of 2025, that by the end of the year, we're going to see home prices down potentially -3%. Okay. Right now, that's not the case. It could still happen, but they did have the caveat that it depends what the Fed does with interest rates. If they cut a couple times, that's out the window. And right now, we're seeing that. Okay. So, guys, you have to just go with the data. I know we want home prices to be more affordable. I get it. Trust me, it would help my job out because more people would probably be buying and selling. And transaction counts are what feed a lot of professions, including realtors, but not just realtors, everything that comes behind the transaction. You're talking, guys, construction, general contractors, all the trades that come with that. You're talking title people, insurance. You're talking lenders, and the list goes on. So there's so much that goes on with this when people buy and sell real estate. So we want people to do that. We want homes to be more affordable. And the way we're going to get it right now is going to be rates dropping, because I don't see a world right now where the home prices without rates dropping just stay up or come crashing down, unless the unemployment rate skyrockets, everyone starts losing their job, and then they're probably going to drop the rates if that happens, though, right? So either way, it's going to be true. Think about that. Okay, think about that. So there's the home price index. They're showing that right there. Okay, and they go on to show different areas across the country. Now, what do they have for Phoenix? I have not seen this one. They're showing Phoenix year over year down 0.10 or 0.180. Okay. Now, I'm not sure when this was actually in August. Okay. Well, guys, here's the real data. Okay. In August, we're at 445. Last year, August, we were at, here we go, 448. So I guess technically August, that would be true. We're at 448,500 on the median sales price last August of 2024. And as of August this year, we're at 448, a decline of a little over $3,000 on the median home price. But it has turned and gone up. And so now from September to September, we are looking at 445 to 460 as of right now. That's a big jump. So that marketplace will turn around quickly. It's amazing how these stats can change quickly depending on how you look at it. Okay. So that's the median home price. Now let's go over to active listing weekly counts. You can see here, 2025, the listings dropped over the summer as they usually do, and they are now increasing. So with the rates dropping, a lot of sellers get bullish too. And they say, well, rates are dropping, there'll be more demand. I'm going to put my house on the market. But also there's a seasonality to the market in Phoenix, guys. There's a seasonality to the marketplace as well, where many suburbs across the Phoenix area have a seasonal market. People are coming down as snowbirds to live or maybe buy a second home in these areas across the Phoenix metro. So Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Fountain Hills, Cave Creek, Carefree, just to name a few. And then, of course, you have outlying areas like Gold Canyon that do great for a seasonal market, and places like that. Even Surprise. I mean, there's a lot of good ones that have seasonal buyers, even though you have a lot of families blended in there. But the listing count is going up, and you can see that typically around early November to mid-November, they start to decrease as we head to the holidays. Okay. So I anticipate this to go up, and then start to curtail as we go to the holidays. So what is up with demand? We need to have demand come along to actually help with this, if at all possible. And the demand index is at 79.4. Still not great. Buyers are kind of frozen to a little bit overall. Supply index at 100. Now, this is so localized, it's not even funny. If I go to this right here, you can see days on market. Okay. Days on market are right here. And you can see that sold this month, days on market currently are hovering around 86 days on market to sell a property. For active listings, 96. And if it gets over 100, it's not good. Okay. But we're still at 96. Now, if I go down here further, I'm going to show you these suburbs. A lot of green on the table, guys. A lot of green on the table, which is good. Unless you're looking to buy. You want to crash. If you're looking to buy. You want lower prices if you're looking to buy. But when is low going to be low enough? That becomes a question. And right now, it's starting to go the other way. I was talking to, and look at Cave Creek, guys. 123. We're above a balanced market overall for Cave Creek. Now, are there different micro niche markets within Cave Creek? Yes, as with every suburb. But I was talking to a potential client here this morning about their house sale in Cave Creek, and looking at the data and data alone of what's sold and what's available for sale. we are in a balanced market. We are in a balanced market in their area, close to maybe a seller's market. We're looking at the Cromford report. Cave Creek is coming in at 123. That is, in fact, out of a balanced market and actually in a seller's market. So depends where you're at. If you go back to the graph, if you're trying to sell in Goodyear or Tempe, you're not in a seller's market. You are not in a balanced market. You're in a buyer's market. So you have to price accordingly. But I think there's going to be some good things happening in Cave Creek, as an example, as one of the more seasonal markets, as the marketplace turns coming up here in just a little bit with the cooler weather, okay, in October, November, etc. So those are things to all keep in mind and consider if you're thinking about selling or buying currently in today's marketplace. And we would love to help you out. We can help you out, customize a plan or a strategy around buying or selling in all these different areas that are more seasonal and looking at data and data points. Give us a call, 480-660-5974. I would love to help you out. Any questions you ask, you can text that number as well. Member of my team or myself will get back to you right away. Okay. We pride ourselves on customer service. Now, got a few more things to share because this is interesting. I told you I'm going to share with you the best time to buy a house in the Phoenix area. Like, it's not really debatable. It's coming up real soon. So if you're looking to buy, stay tuned, guys. This article is going to be good. Here we go. You ready? The sweet spot for frustrated home buyers is on the horizon. If you're looking to buy, this is for you. Here we go. A combination of higher inventory, lower prices, and less competition creates an upcoming sweet spot for prospective buyers. When is that? Here you go. October 12th to the 18th offers the best home buying conditions in 2025. That's it. That's it right there. Show's over. You guys know it. Call me. Let's go house hunting. Okay, I'll give you more of it. Here we go. According to the Phoenix Business Journal, why? Buyers benefit from higher inventory and lower prices. Home prices remain elevated despite recent market improvements. Okay, so the best time of the year to buy a home is coming up, giving frustrated house hunters an increased chance to close a desired deal. It is called by Realtor.com the sweet spot for home shoppers. Why? A rare combination of higher inventory, lower prices, and less competition make it ideal for buyers. And even though it's not exactly a buyer's market overall in every single place across America or even Phoenix, the improved buying conditions could feel like a breath of fresh air for prospective home buyers. So guys, this is interesting. And there's all this data behind it. They 32.6 more active listings than at the start of the year will be on the market. And lower prices could save buyers up to $15,000 from peak summer price tags and 30.6% less competition as other buyers sit out. And affordability is still an issue, but with rates coming down a little bit more and the potential to do a rate buy down temporary for 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years, where we negotiate the seller to pay for it on your behalf. Not a bad idea to start shopping now, really, but that could be the ideal week of the year. Pretty cool, right? That they have this data to share around when that best time could be. So, are you going to get off the fence and possibly jump in October 12th through the 18th? Which means you might want to actually start looking now, browsing now, looking at on the market inventory, and call us up if you want some off market inventory. We carry anywhere from 20 to 30 listings that are off market, being prepped to go on the market at some point between the next 7 days to 6 to even 12 months out. Okay. So give us a call on that one. That would be great. We'd love to share that with you. And we also have the access to TAN, which is Top Agent Network, which are the top agents available in the entire Phoenix area. We happen to be one of them, which is we're very humbled to be that. But we also just pay a bunch of money to have access to this platform where people share information of people that have buyer and seller wants. And we sell a lot of properties on that platform before they hit the market. So we have some ability to help with not just on the market properties, but off-market properties as well. Let us know on that. Text us, call us. We'd love to help you out. But going back to this article, challenges for home buyers, we know what they are. But the other one that we talked about last week, which we'll mention again, is homeowners insurance. Okay. So financial health, homeowners insurance, and the ability to make sure your budget for your housing expense is around 30% of your overall income. If you're looking for a guardrail, a rule of thumb, okay, then that is it. Take whatever you make on your gross income. Take your overall housing expense, whether it be rent or your mortgage payment, and it should be around 30%. Now, if you're a little bit lower on the income scale, it can go as high as 35 and even really 38%. People say that's okay. You're still in that ballpark. If you're higher on the income scale, you should be closer to 30% or even just below 28% or so of your gross monthly income spent on your monthly housing payment. Okay. That gives you an idea of where you should be. And that gives you an idea of where your budget should be. Okay. Now I'm going to hop back over here and we're going to share a couple more things here. Scottsdale crowned top U.S. golf getaway, beating out 400 cities in new analysis. That's cool. If you're live in Scottsdale or around the Scottsdale area, you can now say that you live in the golf mecca of the world. You can brag about that, I guess, right? By Action Network, the top U.S. golf getaway analysis consider golf course availability, accommodation costs, and weather factors. Scottsdale offers 25 public courses per 1,000 residences. That's really, really cool. Now, other cities, just so you know, Florida have more locales with 10, but Arizona has Yuma, Goodyear, Mesa, and Phoenix. Okay, now let me give you a pro tip. Okay, pro tip. If you love golf and want to play, it gets really expensive in Scottsdale and these other places around Phoenix, especially January through March. Very expensive. If you have the ability to go out and golf and you're okay with a little more heat, you should try golfing these courses in the off season because they are very cheap compared to what they normally charge in January through March, as an example, or in December. And you can play them the same course, right? You have to just maybe sweat a little more and wear some sunscreen and drink more water. That's it. Okay. So, pro tip there. Or you could buy a Troon card or something like that that gives you a discount if you know you're going to play multiple rounds of golf over the course of a certain amount of time. Okay. That does exist. So, that's a cool article, right? Now, here's one. Arizona's minimum wage to rise again in 2026, marking a decade of annual increases. Did you know that the Arizona minimum wage was like $5.25 or something like that in the year 2000? Just 25 years ago, it had a 200% increase over the past couple of decades. Okay. It's going to increase to $15.15 per hour. Okay. It's tied to inflation, rising 2.9% over this last year. It's increased annually for 10 consecutive years. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Currently, it's at $14.70 an hour. It's going to be $15.15 starting January 1st of 2026 in about 4 months or so. Okay. So you can see where we rank on the federal minimum wage. Isn't that interesting? The federal minimum wage increased to $7.25 in 2009, and it's been there ever since. My guess is because they're letting the states just handle it because the states do what's best for them. Honestly, which probably makes sense because there's different cost of living, right? For multiple states, different states across America. Like California should not have the same minimum wage as, I don't know, North Dakota, I would imagine, or South Dakota as an example. It's a little more expensive to live in California, right? So that makes sense. But there's the difference right there. And so for anyone who's looking to be employed in the state of Arizona, this is welcome news, I would imagine, for you. Now, what that does to local business owners, I don't want to get involved with all that because, you know, it's tough. It's tough because some businesses, you know, really aren't are directed to employ people that might be in college or maybe in high school, you know, and hopefully that keeps the cost down overall for all of us that are older that are you know in their 30s and 40s and 50s, maybe have a family to support, etc. So we'll see where that goes, but nonetheless, this is happening January 1st of 2026. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. Now, last but not least, and then we'll let you guys get on your way. Scottsdale Fashion Square, which is one of the most popular places to shop in all of America, not just Arizona. They are having another renovation project start early in 26 to be ready for the Christmas shopping season of 2026. Okay. And there's some renderings of what it's going to look like, but you're talking about an enhancement that will raise the ceilings even higher, improve dining spaces, and a refreshed entrance. And this is honestly needed, I think, overall, because this place is so popular. People come to visit all over the world to Scottsdale, especially when it's nice and it's, here and it's snowy everywhere else in America or Canada, as an example. But they're doing the stuff in a couple of renderings of what it's going to look like. And you have a new Japanese restaurant coming to the Scottsdale Fashion Square as well. So new bathrooms. It's going to be really, really nice and a nice upgrade that will take less than a year to do. So I'm all about that. Okay. So if you're going to go there in the season, it's going to have a lot of construction, but it will still be open for business there at the Scottsdale Fashion Square, located in Old Town Scottsdale. For those of us who are going to be frequenting that here recently, or soon, I should say, for the 2025 Christmas upcoming season. Okay, guys, thank you so much. As always, we went long here, but remember, October 12th through the 18th is designated as the best time to buy a house in 2025, given all the data points. Give us a call. We'd love to help you out. 480-660-5974. And check out our channel for other videos that we're posting a video once a week, every Saturday morning, like clockwork at 8 a.m. local time here, Arizona time. And so get your coffee, get a nice place on the couch, and tune in to our YouTube channel every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. where we're dropping the heat on something good or bad about the Phoenix area at every week. Okay, you can expect it like clockwork. And of course, we're live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. right here on Everything Phoenix YouTube Live. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all of you for watching our channel. And if we can do anything to support you and anything you do, don't hesitate to reach out, text or call or email. We'll see you next Tuesday at 4 p.m. local time. Thank you, guys. Stay classy. Keep it classy, Phoenix.